Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
And my name is Eon.
Eon. What? I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
I don't know.
What's going on, Ian?
Nothing. Absolutely
Nothing at all.
nothing.
I think I forgot to ask you that episode.
You
last
did.
Episode.
You know what? I don't think it matters because the answer probably would have been exactly the same.
Would have been the same.
Other than, again, we are now, recording in person.
Yes, we are in person, so I'll have the audio only version up on the YouTube channel. So give us the thumbs up and all that YouTube-y stuff. And make sure you leave us a 5-star review on the podcatcher, whatever you listen to us through.
Yeah. Let us know. Maybe not seeing us would improve the quality of the show. At least not seeing me, anyway.
So last week we talked a little bit about toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And have you been following at all, like, the backlash against the Barbie movie?
No, because the Barbie movie is making a mint, and I don't care about the silly men who are all like, it's a feminist propaganda.
Yeah,
it's fucking Barbie.
People are like losing their fucking minds over. There was like was it Ben Shapiro, whoever it was?
Oh
it was
God!
like,
don't even get me started on that motherfucker.
He was like burning Barbies or something like
Jesus.
that. I don't know.
This is no. So Ben Shapiro is the same guy that when the WAP song came out,
Yes,
said that his wife told him that that's not how it works, and if it's wet, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
No, there's something wrong. You can't satisfy your wife, and she just doesn't realize it yet.
Yes.
So,
she's as dry as the Sahara Desert.
yeah, but that's not her fault. Look who she's fucking married to.
Yeah, he is kind of. Yeah, I've never liked that guy.
Oh my God, he's such a just.
little,
I don't even know what to call him.
a little douche canoe or something.
Yeah, I don't know because he's like, there's just something about him that just makes me want to punch him in
But
his
even
face.
like outside of that, like I've seen like the Barbie movie. Now, granted, I have not seen it, but I know like my wife has seen it. My daughter saw it. Like I know lots
Other
of people,
people have
like
seen
lots
it.
of people at work have seen it.
I mean, the reviews have been very positive across the board. From
It
what I hear,
seems like a movie that doesn't take itself seriously.
right.
It does like tackle some, themes that you wouldn't maybe think it would. Like, it goes on about patriarchy and things like that. And but people like just out of nowhere attack it just because it's Barbie, and just because
it's automatically got an agenda.
Yes.
If you mention even the word patriarchy,
Yes.
it's automatically got a fucking agenda.
But it's crazy to me that people just like have come out of the woodwork. People that I wouldn't like. I remember like I follow. There's one podcast I follow is like it's part of Barstool, and they don't really talk about sports stuff. They talk about just stupid bullshit.
Like we don't really talk about it.
Yeah, they pretty much the same thing. But they like were going on and on about it also about how horrible it is, and I'm like, is anyone really going to see this movie and thinking it's going to be like Oscar worthy? No, but it looks like a fun kind of funny kind of movie.
I mean, it's not a movie I would go see in the theater, but when it's on like streaming, I might fucking watch it.
Oh, I'm sure I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
I just think it's like the outrage culture.
It is. It's that. I guess there's some on the right or on the left as well, but it's.
Oh, there's definitely a lot on the left.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. When the left attacks something, they may go overboard, but it's not like it's not justified to some degree. Whereas the right, they just go over like this imaginary thing.
That they're being attacked.
Yes, yeah, they internalize it and personalize it. And if you're mad because something is talking about racism and you're like automatically assuming they're talking about you, you're probably a fucking racist.
Well, what's the line that racism is so ingrained in American culture that when you attack racism, people assume you're attacking America?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's same thing.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. If anyone who's like, oh, they're playing the race card, that's fucking racist to say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
But anyway, what do I know?
So there's also been a lot of other stuff going on lately too. I'm sure we'll probably get to it at some point, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the Screen Actors Guild and the writer's strike.
There was some movement today or yesterday, I can't remember. Well, at the time of recording, because this will be out a week after the fact.
Yeah.
But at the time of recording, there were talks had started with the writers, and I mean that's good news for both parties because the screen actors are essentially, in many ways, asking for a lot of the same things. They're striking as a result of some of the same things. So, whatever movement can be done with the writers or the actors, it'll benefit the other.
Yeah.
So
there's been some like odd backlash though. So there was I was scrolling through threads, which I've been doing more and more of lately, and there was a post on there about all these. So I guess The Rock donated over $1 million to the Screen Actors Guild Relief Fund.
right.
And there's a whole list of people. Like George Clooney did the same. Matt Damon did. Leonardo DiCaprio, Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, Ryan Reynolds, Julia Roberts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Oprah Winfrey have all of them have donated $1 million plus to the relief fund,
Right.
which is
Very helpful.
Which is going to help people that they're not it's helping not only actors, but it's also helping people that work on sets and construction and
People who are not working right now as a result of the strike. Yes.
But it's really weird because the post I saw, so someone put this on Threads and it says, "It's nice, but let's not gush over rich elite celebrities. $1 million is spare change," which is true, but they're also like
there's a bunch of them doing it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them doing it, and this, like I said, this is not only helping rich celebrities. This is helping all the like ancillary people.
Right. It's amazing how little some of these people that are working on multi-million-dollar movies are making what
shit.
we make it. What we make.
Yeah.
In a town where the cost of living is almost 3 times what we're accustomed to.
Yes.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, they're doing most people's dream job, but let's face it. If this company has all this money and they're going to make all this money, there's no reason they shouldn't be paying the people who make the product. And this is across the board. This is universal.
Yeah. And it's just weird to me to make a comment about like, oh, don't celebrate rich celebrities, which they are, but they're doing something that is actually helping people.
Right. Well,
helping people that need help.
You could argue it's helping their group of people, but that's okay. It's helping people.
Yes. As long as you're helping
We're
people.
just trying to have a better get more out of what they're putting into this shit.
Yeah. And then there's also there's also been backlash. I know we don't talk about sports on here very often, or really ever, because Ian's like Mr. Anti-Sports guy.
I'm not anti-sports. I'm just like I'm not terribly interested in sports.
So Sports Illustrated.
Swimsuit issue?
No.
Then I'm not interested.
Sports Illustrated came out with this. This is something else I pulled off of Threads. They were almost trying to blast. So in the NFL, the running back position has been devalued over the last couple of decades. The league and the NFL has moved more to a passing league than a running league, where at one time, within the last 10 to 15 years, running backs were some of the highest paid positions in the NFL.
Outside like the quarterback, right?
Yeah. And then, but now they're one of the, running backs are like a dime a dozen. They're like, they've definitely lost their value in the league. So you've got a running back for the Indianapolis Colts that is requesting a trade because he doesn't think they're paying him enough. And there's been this big public feud between this running back and Jim Irsay, who's the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. Mm-hmm. So Sports Illustrated, it was almost trying to blast Jim Irsay about this, but they put this on Threads. It says Colts owner Jim Irsay spends nearly 5 times Jonathan Taylor, who's the running back, salary to save a whale. It says the whole quote above that picture. It says Colts owner Jim Irsay is reportedly committing a whopping $20 million to facilitate the transport of a 4-ton whale from a Miami aquarium to its original home in the Pacific Ocean. So they're trying to blast Jim Irsay for spending this money when he's supposedly not paying his running back, who
Right.
5 times, so he's $4 million. I'm assuming his.
Well,
his
first of all,
salaries.
if he's the owner of the team, it's not him who's actually paying. It's the business. It's the team. So that the money he's spending on the whale is just his own personal money. The fact that he has $20 million to spend just randomly like that, for a good cause, but just, oh yeah, I got 20 million. It's like us throwing a $5 in a homeless man's bucket or something.
But it was funny, like all the comments, like every fucking comment in this thread was, well, that's good. I'm glad he's using his money to help something meaningful, to
But again, it's not his personal money that is going to be paying that player.
Well, it's money from his team, so it's all
it's from
him.
his company. It's a company.
Because it's a corporation,
right?
Football teams are billion-dollar corporations,
right? So Jeff Bezos doesn't pay Amazon employees.
Correct.
Amazon pays him. Jeff Bezos makes all the money from Amazon, but it's Amazon that pays the employees.
Yeah, I just thought it was really funny that I think Sports Illustrated was trying to make a point, and they got all this backlash from it. Hey, good.
I mean, like I said, I don't think they're necessarily wrong in the bigger picture, because rich people have too much fucking money and they don't contribute to society the way that they think they do.
But one millionaire complaining that a billionaire isn't giving him enough millions of dollars versus actually making a positive impact in the environment and
right. No, I get that. I get that. So when you say devalue, I mean, what are we talking about on an average salary for a running back?
I would say probably between $2 and $6 million a year.
Okay.
But this says 5 times his salary, so I'm assuming
he's about 5.
So, 5 times. Well, that'd be 4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
4.
So you figure, okay, $4 million.
Right. Now, is it? It does seem a little greedy when you're talking about those kinds of numbers. So, I get, because like I said, I don't like rich people, and I don't like rich people who want more rich. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, I'm all for being rich. I want to be rich, but I want to be rich in a way that is very beneficial for everyone around me and the world that I live in.
And that's kind of like what I was getting at, is you have all these stories about how rich billionaires basically just lavish themselves in riches. Right. Enriching themselves, basically
buy elevators for their cars.
Yes, and screw everything else, screw the environment, screw their world, and then you have an instance where, like I said, a billionaire, I'm assuming he's a billionaire, he owns a fucking football team, is actually trying to make it like a positive impact on the world. I guess not really the world, but it's helping, something that should be in the ocean.
It's not like Kim and Kanye's daughter, who is 5 or 6, has a wardrobe that's worth $3 million. Her clothes are worth $3 million. That's fucking obscene.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. It's their money. They can do what they want with it. It's still fucking obscene.
Yeah.
There's children who don't even have fucking food, and her clothes are worth $3 million. Fuck them. That's how I feel about it.
But I will say, and it's very true. The more money you make, the more you spend, and the more it's I don't know, it gets warped. When you have billions of fucking dollars.
Yeah, I guess it becomes easy.
$3 million is nothing.
Right. Well, I can tell you, and it could just be because I come from having no money, but I thought Kanye did too. I thought he was poor when he was a kid.
He did.
Yeah. And I get you want your kids to have more than you had, which my kids would, but guess what? My fucking kids wouldn't even have video games if I was a billionaire. I wouldn't allow them to have fucking video games, no phones. If you want to,
I know we've talked before how you'd be a fucking curmudgeon of a fucking parent.
Probably, yeah. My kids would fucking hate me.
Your kids would fucking hate you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's just I remember there's a quote. There was a basketball player. I don't remember who it was. I think it was back in the 90s. There was some kind of contract dispute, and he's like, "Hey, I'm just trying to feed my family." Really? Because you're already making $15 million a year,
right?
But it is very true. I will say that, the more money you make, the more you fucking spend.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, if you've got multiple million, if you're making 5, 10, 15, 20, some of those athletes are making, $70 million a year plus. I mean, at some point it's completely fucking meaningless.
Yeah.
Like it loses all value.
Right.
Because regardless of what you do, when you've got, $5, $6, $7 billion, like,
Yeah.
you can never fucking spend all that. Never.
No, but you could donate a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can spend it if you buy.
Well, you know
if
what?
you buy Twitter.
They don't even have to donate. Just pay your fucking taxes. Yeah. That's all I want. Just pay your fair share of taxes with no goddamn loopholes.
Yeah.
And pay at the rate, say, like from the 1960s.
Yeah.
That would be preferable because you'll still be a fucking billionaire, and at least maybe we could have universal health care.
Yeah, but that's not what we came to talk about today, though, Ian.
No.
We came to talk.
You set a soapbox down in front of me, and you have to expect that I'm going to stand on it for at least a few minutes.
But
especially when it comes to my hatred of rich people.
I know. So we came to talk about aliens. We were supposed to talk about this
aliens? Are you insane?
Week. We were supposed to talk about aliens last week. Tom DeLonge has exposed.
Has he though?
So Tom DeLonge. So if you don't know who Tom DeLonge is, he's the guitarist and one of the frontmen of Blink-182. Tom has been on this thing for
decades.
Yeah, at least. I mean, it was the album "Enema of the State" came out in 99?
Yeah, I believe 99.
And there was a song on there called "Aliens Exist." Like,
yeah. Well, that's 23 years, 24 years ago.
And there was, I think it was on Enema of the State. It might have been on Dude Ranch, which
even earlier.
Dude Ranch came out in '97. There was alien stuff on Dude Ranch too. He's been.
I know there's a Star Wars song on there, isn't there?
There is. It's called "The New Hope."
Yeah.
But he's been on this long journey, and he started a company called To the Stars, and they've been big into all this like alien stuff. And Tom DeLonge has been ridiculed and mocked for, like, I remember he was on Joe Rogan one time going on about this, talking about how he's been in contact with nameless people inside the U.S. government who has been like slowly leaking him information, trying to help point him in the just
keep going,
point him in the direction of the quote unquote truth, right? That aliens exist, and that and a lot of people for a long time have suspected that the U.S. government has aircraft and potentially bodies of aliens, but there's no evidence, there's no proof of it.
Right.
So it got to this point where I don't even know how the fucking House started having these hearings on was it unidentified aerial phenomenon or something like that.
Yeah, UFO. Well, UFOs and UAPs.
UAPs are what they are now.
So there's speculation, and it's conspiracy theory nonsense probably, but that to cover up all the other stuff that's going on in the world, specifically just the infighting and the indictments on former presidents and possible indictments on presidents' sons and all that fun stuff, that they did this hearing thing as a smoke screen.
Okay.
So, hey, we're going to admit there's aliens, or at least we're going to admit that there's possibly aliens. Look over here, aliens. And it didn't fucking work because everyone was like, yeah, whatever.
I don't think that's what they were having the hearings for.
Well, that's like I said, that's what people think. I don't think that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's because this has actually been going on. Like, there's been...
I know they released those classified images
a couple years
ago, yeah.
So it's like there has been this progression to getting us to this point.
So let me get to the big issue I have with this. Let me preface by saying I totally believe that aliens exist. Mathematically, it would be impossible that there is not intelligent life out there on other worlds that may even have similar features to us and could potentially be more advanced than us and could travel the stars. That being said, I don't know if they're here, and the hearings of what I watched, none of it was evidence. It was all hearsay. It was,
of course,
this person told me that.
Yeah.
This person saw this, which is if it won't hold up in a court of law, it shouldn't be even. They shouldn't even be accepting this information in a fucking hearing.
Well,
it should be court of law type of.
That's
it
what
was
you have a
all
hearing for.
Hearsay. Every element of it was fucking hearsay.
So
it doesn't change anything. That's why everyone was like, "Oh, whatever."
I think the guy's name is David Grush. I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But he was in the served as an intelligence officer in the Air Force and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency for 14 years. So he was part of this, like, I don't want to call it covert, but it's like almost like secretive entity within the government whose main focus was to gather information and investigate UAP sightings. But because
but again, he never saw any of it himself. That's what bothers me about all of this testimony.
Well, he did. He had so in the hearing. If you don't know anything about this, he testified that since the 1930s, the United States government has had in its possession alien. He didn't call it alien aircraft, but UAP aircraft, right? Mm-hmm. And there was non-human biologics that were inside some of those.
I don't think he actually used the word non-human. He just said there were biologics because he was pushed on that topic.
Yeah,
specifically, they said were there bodies, and he said there were biologics.
Yes,
non-human biologics. He goes, there were biologics.
Yeah.
So whatever that means, I don't know. But they could just as easily be like sea creatures from Atlantis, for all we fucking know.
Well, I doubt that, but
oh, that's the doubtable part. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, because there's been like, pilots have reported UAP sightings for fucking decades, forever. There was, I think during the hearing they talked about within a X amount of year period prior to this guy leaving this task force in the government, he said there was like 1,000 UAP reports just from like military personnel.
Right. And I don't doubt any of that. It's just if you're gonna go through the trouble of it, because these hearings cost fucking money. They cost tax dollars. None of us doubt the possibility. I mean, and it's one of those things that's kind of across the board. You're not going to find anyone who really is like, there's no such thing as aliens. Very few people. There's less people who will say that there's no aliens than there are who actually believe in angels.
Yeah.
So you're not changing anyone's mind, really, because there's not enough people whose mind needs to be changed. So what is the point of doing this if you're not going to say, this is what we have. Here's a fucking picture of an alien that our government has.
Yeah. Well, because he doesn't have that.
Then why have the fucking hearings is my point.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve any fucking purpose.
I think it's just the next step in the process of
at this point,
because they've been slowly declassifying stuff.
Yeah, at this point though, it's like just give us the fucking punchline.
Yeah,
that's
the U.S.
Save the fucking money.
The U.S. government has confirmed that
they have unidentified aerial phenomena. Yes, they've all confirmed that. Basically, it's just saying, we're not going to tell you the truth, but we're going to acknowledge that you're probably right.
And the U.S. government released photographs within the last few months.
Aerial photographs that are blurry and hard to see.
Yes.
But yes.
I've had 2 instances in my life where I have seen
something
UAPs.
Right. Something you can identify.
Yes. And one, I was young. I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old. It was me, my mother, and my grandmother. My grandparents lived in a somewhat remote area in northern Michigan. And they lived right next to the lake. And we were just sitting there looking over the lake one night. And there was 2 objects in the sky that defied laws of gravity and physics the way that they were moving. They moved around. It was probably maybe 5 minutes and then they disappeared. And then just recently, within the last couple of years, I was driving home from work one night, driving down the highway, and it was probably like 3:30 in the morning. And and if you think I was just probably falling asleep or something like that.
No,
it was
Nick doesn't
nothing
fall
like
asleep while he's driving. He just watches TV while he's driving.
that's very true. But so I was driving home, and there was something very similar to what I had seen before in the sky above the highway, and that disappeared. So it was twice that I've seen things that I couldn't explain. But there were reports during the hearing talk about pilots talking about spacecraft, or I shouldn't say spacecraft, aircraft making movements that the G-forces would kill a human being
without proper technology.
Yes.
I get it. I mean, like I said, no one's gonna doubt to any real degree that obviously the possibility is there. So you've got a mathematical parameter by which we know that most likely there's aliens out there, and most likely that there are aliens that are more advanced than us and could potentially have the technology to come say hi to us.
Yeah.
But then there's all these other questions I have. Like, any advanced civilization came here and took one look at us. They're
like,
going to think
"We're gone."
They're going to think two things. One, this species probably won't even survive itself. So we might as well not waste our time. We'll watch from a distance. Or two,
shit. They could have been watching for a couple hundred years.
Yeah. Or two, second possibility, they're going to take one look at us and go, these people can't control, they can't manage themselves. We should invade and just take care of them for us.
It's very possible.
We'll create they could be our labor force.
Yeah.
Those are the only things that would be possible. So if they're watching us from a distance, great. That seems to make the most sense, since we haven't had an Independence Day style invasion yet.
Yeah.
What is the point? I don't. And this is coming from I'm the space guy. That's my thing.
What's the point of what?
Of all of this pageantry with the hearings? Just do your fucking hearings. Fine, do it. But come to us when you got the evidence. When you can say this is alien B from this area of space. They came down in this type of ship. We've reverse engineered it, and this is why you have fucking iPhones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is like a group of senators that are trying to push for transparency in the federal government for topics like this.
Right.
And that's kind of where a lot of the push for these hearings even came from. I don't know. It could have been a part of it could have been just trying to be a distraction from what is going on. That's definitely a possibility.
At least maybe the televised part of it, the hype around it,
or the push for one side to do it. But I think there is a general interest from parts of or from some of the members of Congress.
I think there's a general interest from all of us, because even though we can say mathematically there's life out there, we can't say definitively.
Yeah.
And by knowing that, it gives us a slight better glimpse of our role in the universe.
Yeah.
Whether it is infinitely smaller than we thought because we're not unique, which, I mean, we all kind of accept anyway, most of us. Or at least gives us a glimpse of what kind of potential we could have.
Yeah.
If we could just get our shit together, you know?
But I think like over the last several years, as we've gotten more information from the government releasing, or they've released more information, at least taken steps to somewhat confirm the existence of UAPs. I think that's where this push is kind of coming from, though. It's like, you're giving us some, we want more.
But they're not. They're barely giving us some. They're basically telling us what we already know. That's the problem. They're confirming what we already know.
Yeah. Or they've confirmed what we speculated.
He just broke his bat.
Oh, Ian's busy watching the Tigers game.
No, I'm very well engaged. But confirming what we already know is great. But
what? So how do you think, or what do you think they could do better? Or I don't know another way. I mean, so you can't force the government to release photos
and there
or
may be
like
legitimate security reasons why they wouldn't. I can understand that. But what's the point of going through all these motions then?
Yeah.
If you know you're not going to be able to admit that you have reverse engineered any of this stuff, or admit that our enemies might have shit that they've reverse engineered.
And that's kind of what I was going to next.
If you're never going to go to those points because you can't, then there's no point in even bothering, because you're, like I said, no one is learning anything new.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if we have these UAPs, I'm sure other countries do also.
Right. UFO or UAP, whatever. I'm always going to call them UFOs because it's, they're flying. So that's how I've always known them. Sightings in Russia are almost greater than they are here.
Yeah.
So it would be foolish of us to think that Russia doesn't have something.
Yeah.
The UK as well. But I would imagine the UK probably shares information with us.
So there has to be some kind of like national security aspect to it.
100%.
If we're trying to because that's what the what was discussed in the hearing was, that the federal government since the 30s have been trying to reverse engineer some of the technology that they've recovered. Mm-hmm. If we're doing that, I can guarantee you there's Russia, China, whoever is doing the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, depending on what they have, it could be a race against time.
All the more reason to stop wasting time on these fucking hearings then.
But the hearings are run by people who have no other means to force the government to release things.
Is it really that important? I guess in the grand scheme. Again, coming from the space guy.
Grand scheme of things? No. I mean, we have more
pressing
issues, but why can't we do this at the same time also?
I mean, we could, but it just seemed to take up an awful lot of time and money.
It took up 1 day. Like it was 1 day of hearings.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it also it occupied
1 day hearings compared to like the 40 days that they grilled Hillary Clinton about Benghazi about.
Right.
I mean,
well, that was a waste of time too, or when they could have been grilling other politicians for other fucking things. He's up to 75 indictments now.
Something like that.
Or 75 criminal indictments.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It really isn't that much of a waste of time, but the amount of time that even some of the news channels and everything dedicated to it, it's like,
I think some of the news channels dedicated so much time to it because it was probably nice not to be talking about Biden and fucking Trump.
Right.
For
no, I get it. And believe me, I was intrigued, but once I watched, what I watched of it, it's like,
you're right. It's not like he produced pictures,
right?
He discussed things that he had seen,
but he didn't. No, he didn't see anything. It was everything that I saw him talk about was all anecdotal. It was everything that other people had told him, and that is not reliable evidence in any case, in any situation. That is not reliable information.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's part of the task force or whatever it was investigating UAPs, I'm sure he has.
Then he would have had to have seen, but he never said. And he was asked several times, "Did you see that?" or "What did you see?" And it was always, "I was just told."
Yeah.
What I'm telling you, and
because he didn't have security clearance.
Well, if he didn't have security clearance to know it, then he shouldn't be talking about it anyway.
Yeah.
So. That was my biggest problem. It's like, you're not giving evidence. You're basically just telling us stories that other people have told you.
Yeah. Which is still something. I mean,
like I said, if it won't hold up in a court of law, it shouldn't be in a fucking Senate hearing.
Well, there's a lot of hearsay stuff that does hold up in court of law. People get convicted on that shit too.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to, and they're doing away with a lot of it. Like they're not even using eyewitness testimony anymore as much because it's not reliable.
Yeah.
They've proven time and time again it's not reliable. All that being said, I want the aliens to come. I want them to come down here and go, all right, you guys are fucking this shit up. This is what you do. If you don't like it, we'll use our ray guns on you.
Ray guns.
The pew 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 pew. It would be nice to to have the confirmation that we're not alone, and that there's the possibility that we eventually will figure out how to explore out there and see the universe for what it truly is, rather than just looking at it through this very myopic lens of humanity.
So he did say non-human.
Oh, he did? Not in the video I saw. He kept dodging that.
Yes, he said non-human. He said they were non-human. He also said that he reviewed documents. So it's not. So he saw the documents about the.
He did say the documents were redacted in many cases, though, too.
Yes.
So he didn't see all of the documents.
Yeah. So it's not all completely. It's not all hearsay. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not all third-party hearsay. How about that?
Well, I mean, again, it still is, but at least it's official hearsay.
So he also said that the Vatican helped in 1944 and 1945.
It's funny, they could help with the aliens. They couldn't do anything about the Nazis for 8 years.
Well, it's because they helped hide the Nazis in South America.
Right.
So
In 45 and 46, same time they were helping that.
yeah.
Hey, it's kind of giving credence. Maybe they helped enough to get the Nazis to the moon base.
He also said that American citizens had been killed as part of the government's efforts to cover up the information, which I did not see that part of it.
Yeah, I did see that, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the U.S. government will kill anybody if it means if they can justify it for national security.
I thought it was funny that NASA and the DoD came out after the hearing and said that no evidence of extraterrestrial life has been discovered. Well, of course they've got to say that. Even if there had been, they're going to come out and say that.
Which is funny because NASA is, even though it's a government agency, it's mostly publicly funded. You'd think they could say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But what do I know? That's the other thing. If we can get definitive evidence that there's alien life, maybe we could put the whole flat Earth thing to bed.
I mean, why that wouldn't solve
Well,
that
it would,
equation.
because most flat earthers believe that there's just the Earth and the firmament, and that's it. There's nothing beyond. They don't believe in space. So it just seems to me like that would at least put most of that part to bed.
So it wasn't just this one guy. There was also two U.S. fighter pilots who discussed their
Experiences.
Which
with, I've seen other interviews with pilots, and when they released all that footage, they think they talked to some pilots back a couple years ago. I don't doubt them. I'm not doubting what they saw, and like I said, I believe this stuff is real. It's just the hearing part is what bothers me.
Really?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, like I said,
we
unless
hold
it's
hearings
going
for worse things than that.
unless it's going somewhere, and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Well, it never seems like it's going anywhere until it finally does. Like, I think the whole point of the hearing was to put more pressure on the federal government to actually produce something.
You know what I think? I think aliens, if they've been coming here, they have a terrible sense of humor.
They probably think we're fucking idiots.
Well, of course,
because we are fucking idiots.
Well, we are, but they have a terrible sense of humor because if I was an alien going to another planet and I saw them and they were like us, I'd like show up and like just wave at it. Hey, I'm here, and then disappear again.
Yeah.
I just like pop in and just say, "Look at me, I'm an alien." Woo.
Maybe they do, and then we're like, then when people talk about it, we're like, oh, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, but I'd be doing it to like in New York City, or on the White House lawn, where people are going to see.
Or
it.
maybe the space people or whatever the hell they are, the aliens. Maybe that's like part of the code and
the prime directive from Star Trek.
Yeah,
non-interference.
Yeah.
Well, if that were the case, then their governments or whatever would have already had to come and take that technology back, because in Star Trek you're not allowed to leave technology behind.
Well, I'm not saying it's fucking Star Trek. I'm just saying that that could be a legitimate thing. That could be.
Couldn't it be Star Trek though? I mean,
because I don't think they're gonna come down here and we need our stuff back and like try to steal it back. Like,
well, no, I mean in Star Trek they never like say, "Hey, we need our stuff back." They just covertly take it.
Yeah, but I don't know. And I think that you can't covertly do shit in this fucking country.
Yeah, you can. They do it all the fucking time.
No, you can't.
Imagine all the shit we don't know that's going on.
No, I'm talking. Well, I know that, but I'm talking about like you can't come in and steal. So the government's not going to let you come in like
no,
walk,
but if they're
walk in the
more
front door and
advanced, if
steal
they're more
something.
than advanced than us, they may have ways of doing it that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They did travel faster than light, most likely, without beyond the laws of relativity, because the law of or what is it, the theory of relativity, whatever.
Yeah.
It precludes us from ever being able to just point A to point B travel through
Yeah.
space. It just does, until we can figure out the math around it, which
Yeah.
they kind of have, but it requires way more power than we're capable of producing.
Right. Not
right,
them.
Right. That's my point. So if they can do that, if they can produce that amount of power to basically upend relativity,
Yeah.
then something tells me they could probably sneak into a fucking base that's armed by essentially, what, we're 100,000 years from being primates. We're still fucking primates.
Yeah.
They're probably looking at us like we're ants.
Yeah.
I think they could probably do it and not leave a trace.
Or they could be like, oh, fuck it, we don't care.
Or they could at least destroy the technology enough where we can't
Yeah.
reverse engineer.
Well,
it.
we've been trying to, according to this guy, we've been trying to reverse engineer it for almost 100 years.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to. So
Right. Which, I mean, of course, if you went back in time to say, 6,000 BC and handed them your iPhone,
yeah.
would they be able to reverse engineer it?
No.
So I'm not surprised. But I would imagine there's probably some things they have, but it's minimal stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, maybe a power cell or something.
I would, no, I mean, I would be shocked if the government didn't have some kind of spacecraft.
Yeah, I would too. But I would prefer that if they're gonna televise a big hearing about it, make a big deal about it, maybe they should show us a picture or something.
Well, the federal government doesn't want you to know about it. The government, obviously, the NASA and the DoD.
Well, the federal
don't.
government's the ones holding the hearing. It's the
It's
military.
The people. Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. When I say the government, I mean the military, because that's
But
the
they are separate.
It's the DoD and it's NASA.
Yeah. So
That they're obviously they don't want you to fucking know about it.
I don't know why NASA's so tight-lipped. It would, if they were to, if we could prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, it would only boost their finances.
Yeah.
It'd boost interest in the space program. We might actually get to the moon when they say we're going to get to the moon, which we're supposed to get there next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what the benefit would be, other than like national security, to not discuss it,
Right.
or not to be open up about it, or other than like creating panic.
But it wouldn't. I mean,
I think it would. If the president went on TV tonight and went on there and like showed pictures of dead aliens that they had and the spaceship and stuff they had, people would there would be people panicking
Nick,
in the fucking street.
The president goes on TV tonight and shows a bunch of pictures of aliens. Half the country's going to call him a fucking liar.
That's true.
And the other half
that's
is
very
going to be
true.
like, and we'll say half of the other half might panic, but that's still a small portion of the
Nah, I think there'd be a lot more panic than
I don't think so. Not now. 30 years ago, yeah. Now we don't care. No one fucking cares.
You're right.
If anything,
you're definitely right there. No one.
If anything,
no one cares about anything.
If anything, Biden goes on TV, says aliens are real. We have bodies. We have ships. They've been coming here for decades, maybe even centuries. Here's pictures of actual aliens. Here's an actual body of an alien we've kept on ice for 40 fucking years. It's all right there. It's all real. It's all been happening. Most of us would be like, okay.
I mean, I would.
It's like the George Michael thing when he came out. Everyone was like, when George Michael came out, when asked why he didn't come out sooner, he was like, because everybody already fucking knew.
Yeah.
I
was in a band called Wham.
We already fucking know. You're not telling us anything. All you're doing is confirming what we already know, and that's fine.
Who else just came out recently?
The lead singer of
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah,
because I was like, shocker. I'm shocked.
I mean, I didn't think anything about it though. Either way, I never. It was never a thing I can like wondered.
I mean, I don't fucking care.
Right.
I don't care where you put your dick, just as long as you don't put your dick in me. That's all I fucking care about. Like what you do with it, your body parts.
So essentially, what Nick is saying is that he's not homophobic. He's just not gay.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, because it sounds a little homophobic. The way he
Does
says
it?
Yes.
I don't.
What
I
you
don't
should
care.
clarify is you don't care where anyone puts their dick.
Just
That's
don't put
just-
it in me. How is that?
Let me rephrase it. You don't care where anyone puts their dick. Just get consent first.
Okay.
Because when you say it like that, that's a bit homophobic. It's like, keep your gayness away from me.
No. I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever. Keep your fucking dick away from me. That's all I fucking care about. All right.
Just get consent.
I will say that, like, that's the thing. Real quick, this is like a way off fucking topic.
Yeah, we went from aliens to homosexuality. I don't know.
Yeah, they like. I've always like understood lesbians because I can understand like the beauty that someone would see in a woman. But like, I'm sorry, like naked men are fucking gross. Like
To you,
I know
there's most women find naked men pretty attractive.
well, they also find it pretty gross, also. But
Well, there's some women things that are gross too.
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying,
naked
and
men are gross.
I know you're not homophobic. You're just kind of sounding a little homophobic. That's all.
Whatever.
For the record, I know Nick. He is not homophobic, but he's scared of penises apparently,
because penises are fucking gross.
and he's scared of them. It's okay.
Big fucking dangling meat. It's gross.
You can be terrified. It's okay.
Whatever.
We won't judge you, Nick.
Any questions or comments, you can email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube and leave us comments, all that fun stuff.
Indeed.
Leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't send Nick pictures of dicks.
No, do not. Do not. Someone did send us, what was that? Someone sent us that one story. Wanted me to read it. That,
Yeah.
I was
that for the ANT or was that Vinyl Den?
No, they sent that. I think they sent it to the Vinyl Den. No, they sent it to the ENT, the
Okay.
Entertainment Now
Okay.
email address.
If you're listening, it's not a story that we're comfortable reading on
No.
podcasts or anywhere.
Homoerotic fan mail.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It would, I would say you can work on your prose a little bit,
But
and maybe pick more attractive people for your stories too.
wow.
Yes, don't even say it. Pick more attractive people for your stories, and they might be a bit more, sellable.
Nah. All right, man. Well, until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit, right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck, standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, niggas.